A calibration scan of the Sculptor Galaxy Group on April 17, 2025, records something the James Webb Space Telescope was never expected to see. In a normally empty control field, a faint flicker appears across three instruments: MIRI, an infrared camera, and an infrared spectrograph. The feature repeats over 72 minutes. It is not a star, planet, comet, or asteroid. It reflects no light, emits no heat, leaves no spectrum. It appears as a perfect silhouette against the infrared background, a dark void that seems to absorb light rather than reflect it. Cross-checks with transient and orbital catalogs turn up nothing. The object has no prior entries, no predicted path. It slides through the frame with a steady, non-tumbling motion, as if guided. Parallax analysis of a 0.38 arcsecond shift in 2.4 milliseconds, at an inferred distance near 12.7 million light-years, yields a velocity exceeding the speed of light. Roughly 113% of circa instrument audits, timing, frame rate, thermal behavior, radiation background, return consistent results. The measurement stands. The dark shape does not behave like a gravitational mass. It produces no X-ray emission, no accretion signatures, and it does not leave a wake when passing through gas and dust. Instead, enhanced stacks reveal a faint halo of pulsing filaments around the void. These filaments breathe in 11.2-second cycles, thin, geometric threads of infrared structure that expand and contract with precise regularity. Background starlight near the feature twists into spirals and helixes rather than forming the arcs expected from ordinary lensing. The object casts no typical shadow. Light is redirected through an unfamiliar geometry. Detailed mapping shows the distortion originating from within the object itself. Space around it is folded rather than merely bent. Distant points in the background shift in ways consistent with a local collapse or stitch of spacetime. The cavity inside the void has internal structure, a repeatable, geometric pattern that suggests design or organization rather than random physical chaos. The object shows no inertia or deceleration. It glides in an unperturbed straight line for hours and maintains a fixed orientation, except for a single, precise reorientation of 0.19 radians that aligns with the background distortion pattern. Simulations failed to trace the path back to any known source. 2 weeks after initial detection, the telescope's fine guidance telemetry begins to record tiny, rhythmic spatial disturbances aligned with the same 11.2-second period. These are not electromagnetic or gravitational waves but minute shifts in the guidance reference frame, tiny tugs on the fabric of space local to the instrument. The timing of those shifts encodes mathematics. Prime numbers appear in the intervals 2, 3, 5, 7, 11, followed by fractal decay in amplitude. When the observatory changes viewing angle by less than a degree, the pulse sequence changes with a delay equal to the new light path difference. The pattern is repeatable and instrument-specific. Other telescopes and detectors do not register it. Faced with these data, researchers divide into interpretive groups. One view treats the feature as a localized fold or remnant of an extreme spacetime event, a stable wormhole-like structure detached from its source. Another treats it as a manifestation of hypothetical superluminal fields, macroscopic tachyonic behavior rendered coherent. A third considers an engineered sentinel, a passive, non-emissive device built to observe rather than move or broadcast. Computational physicists suggest a self-organizing spacetime computation, structure emerging from geometry rather than matter. A final, alarming hypothesis frames the phenomenon as an active function, a local rewrite of physical rules that adapts conditions as it encounters new observers or instruments. Each hypothesis explains some features but not all. The observed speed challenges causality and energy constraints. The absence of mass signatures conflicts with lensing expectations. The mathematical pulse and its responsive delay imply interaction rather than mere occurrence. The fact that the feature remains visible only to instruments with Webb-specific infrared sensitivity and long exposure stacking hints that it occupies a detection band unique to that observatory. After the first detection, a second anomaly emerges. At first, it seems like coincidence, an echo of noise or a statistical quirk. But the resemblance is undeniable. Its geometry, its silent rhythm, the peculiar distortions it casts upon the background stars, they match. Two independent detections, two silent voids that bend the rules of reality. The pattern is no longer random. The possibility enters the discussion that these objects are not natural at all. Some theorists describe them as dormant sensors, concealed across the fabric of space until technology advanced enough to expose them. If true, then their concealment was intentional, their appearance timed. They were not revealed to earlier generations of telescopes. They became visible only now, as if waiting for human perception to reach a threshold. This is not discovery, it is disclosure. The anomalies begin to show signs of influence beyond their local region. Subtle shifts ripple across the starfield. Distant pulsars, trusted as cosmic clocks, reveal fractional deviations in timing. Signals from interplanetary probes show irregular delays, too small to be dismissed as interference but too precise to be chance. It becomes clear. The anomalies are not isolated, and they do not operate in silence. They interact with the fabric of reality itself. If these structures can alter local spacetime geometry, they are not mere objects. They are functions. To bend the background starlight, to disrupt timing from distant pulsars, is to manipulate the threads from which causality is woven. These are not distortions in the sky. They are distortions in the framework of existence. And this leads to a deeper and far more unsettling idea. What if the laws of physics are not permanent? What if they are contextual, conditional, and at times, negotiable? The anomalies suggest that what we call immutable laws, relativity, causality, the speed of light, are not final boundaries, but surfaces that can be bent by structures embedded deep in the cosmic fabric. Scientists divide sharply in their interpretations. One camp insists these are glimpses of unknown physics. Perhaps hidden dimensions, curled compactly beyond detection, briefly bleed into visibility. Perhaps quantum fields align into rare configurations that permit spacetime itself to fold, generating the illusion of faster-than-light travel. To them, the anomalies are natural but exotic, clues to a reality more layered than we have ever conceived. Others are not so certain. They point to the deliberate rhythm, the prime number pulses, the exact timing of shifts when observed. These patterns are not chaotic, not random, but structured. They behave like code, like a signal built into geometry itself. To this camp, the evidence points not to blind physics but to intelligence. The anomalies are artifacts. They are engineered presences. Sentinels. And so the debate becomes a crossroads. If natural, then the universe holds hidden architectures, laws waiting to be revealed, perhaps even pathways to manipulating causality. If artificial, then humanity is not alone, and the cosmos may already be threaded with structures left by intelligence unknown. Each possibility carries weight. If physics itself is collapsing into a deeper layer of truth, then human science stands on the edge of a renaissance, or a reckoning. If these are artifacts, then the question becomes, who placed them, and why? To observe? To guide? To warn? Or perhaps to remain dormant until a threshold of awareness was crossed, as has just occurred? Either way, the discovery does not merely expand knowledge, it rewrites it. Reality itself is in negotiation. Time may no longer be absolute. Causality may not be unbroken. Space may not be neutral. To live in such a universe is to live in a system where the rules can change, or where the rules were written long ago by hands unknown. As data accumulates, vigilance grows. Telescopes continue to search not for light, not for heat, but for ripples in geometry. Deep space communications are scanned for timing errors, every deviation logged. What began as a single unexplained shadow is now a map of presences, scattered across the sky like hidden beacons. Each one silent, but each one shaping reality in measurable ways. And the question remains unanswered. Are these signs of nature unfolding its hidden layers, or evidence that we are inhabiting a constructed order, an engineered universe whose scaffolding is only now becoming visible? The record ends with two options. Accept that physics has limits, and that what lies beyond them is beginning to emerge. Or accept that intelligence, ancient, deliberate, and far beyond human, has written its presence into the geometry of space.